Thank you, everybody, for joining us back here at Cytta Corp's channel. We're sitting here once again with Mr. Gary Campbell, the Chief Executive Officer of the company. And Gary, I was hoping you and I could touch base and give everybody a kind of state of the union of how things have been going lately and what they can expect to see next. So how are you doing? Are you ready to get into it?
Well, I'm raring to go, and as you can see, I've got my Cytta meeting gear on, and having just come from a meeting here, so rather than my corporate attire, I've got the do it in the demo attire on, as we call it. So
yeah,
ready to go.
Fair enough. All right. So you just came back from a meeting. Tell me about some of the things you guys have been doing. You've been very nose to the grindstone lately. Now come up and just give us a breath of fresh air. What's going on?
Sure. And, let me explain really why we've been relatively quiet about a lot of these things, because having experienced the last 10 months or so of intensive product programming and development work, and having to get it into the fields to do literally field testing with our beta clients that we've got out there now. So we've been a little reluctant to start crowing about all the things that it does, but literally we're in the very final stages, I can say, with regard to the IGAN 2.0. It's two relatively small development issues away from being completely conceptualized. And when I say completely conceptualized and operational, that means it does everything we ever wanted it to do at this point. There's no new things that we have to think of. So, and it does so much more than what the previous product did, where it just simply connected cameras and drones, from multiple sources and sent them out. So all of the added functionality that's in there allows us to go into many more markets, provide much more capability from, actually tracking all of our users, anybody who's either connected to the website or with the app in their phone. We can follow them, we can identify them, and that's just a feature that nobody else has. All of the ability to communicate through the IGAN takes away all of the alternative mechanisms that people use that aren't secure. A lot of people would be surprised to learn that first responders often use WhatsApp to communicate. I mean, that's a bit, and there are a lot of other choices that they use that aren't secure, that aren't this and aren't that. So we give them a brand new way to communicate, make it safe, make it secure, and make it very, very easy for them. So all of those pieces are starting, create a new world for them. So we have to show them the new world because they've never used it before. And that's where, the various clients, really the betas for the 2.0 that we've been putting out over the past couple of months, which have been significant. But we've been developing into their rollouts as well. And a big part of the IGAN is the feature that we call the school SOS product. So I'll get into that separately. But what I can really say now is, we have features in the IGAN that not only do the simple things of moving video and audio from multiple sources to multiple other people. We do it now with simply a software download. There's no hardware requirements. There's no problems with that. All of that absolutely works seamlessly. Literally, we can have a department up and running in 5 minutes.
Wow.
And then, that should make it a lot easier for us. But when you say that there's been a lot of work on our part, you have to show people the new features, how they work, that. So it's been a really great learning experience for us. Everybody that's now trained and up on it is simply loving all the features. So, I'm very excited that, 10 months after Michael Collins conceptualized what this new IGAN would be able to do, and it's not really even correct to call it, an IGAN 2.0. It's a completely different product. So really what it is a social network. in a way. So if you think about the difference between, originally we had social networks, we communicated with our friends on them, we interacted on them. And then, gradually that became social media, which really changed the dynamic. No longer were we interacting with people that we knew and friends and whatever. We were interacting with the whole world. And, some pundits have complained that, that change in itself changed everything. So what we really are is a brand new form of social network, both video, audio, interactive. You get to choose the people you're interacting with. So we come in at that end of the situation.
Wow, sounds like you guys have been really busy over there. And I'd love to dive deeper into those as more details of each of those things roll out, Gary. But talk to me about the ESG side of things as well. Was there any headway on that side?
Yeah, sure. There's been massive developments on that side. And again, we were really, really proud with what we were able to do, with our work with the turtles and the streaming live from there, allowing the researchers, with the World Conservation Society to directly interact with the research on the ground right in the Amazon jungle, and basically say, hey, look at that, we're seeing this, we're seeing that. So a new kind of involvement, both from the point of view that people were able to see things that they could never have imagined, that watching it months later when it was filmed and whatever. And the big one that came of that was the haziness of the filming. And literally that is the smoke from all the fires in the Amazon. Everybody who lives in that area is subjected to that every single day.
Wow.
And and we're talking about smoke, way over what we've seen here in the US from our forest fires and things like that. So it was ever present, it's horrible, it was dangerous. And that, from the World Conservation Society, that was a new point that they're now getting involved with and spreading that to the world. So we're really happy about the capability that we found there. And now we're working through, again, our partnered group, Real Life Delivered, that partnered there for us with our technology. And we're working really on the oceans. And there's some projects that we're doing through Real Life Delivered's research vessel. Our technology is going on there. And while I can't quite say it yet, but we've managed to partner with one of the groups that provides all sorts of equipment for hiking and woods and remote and everything along those lines, as well as a lot of different kinds of sensors for under the water. So we've been, working with certain types of cameras that the IGAN can now connect to the world in real time, running cameras off a vessel, streaming it in real time so that, basically you can watch the dolphins swimming by, whatever that vessel sees. So it's really being a great spot for us to showcase our equipment and also, work on these problems. I mean, the idea being that we'll be able to deliver in real time the problems that we see, the issues that we see, and be able to get back on that side of the house and provide mechanisms so environmentally we can sort of stop some of these disasters from happening. And if you can see it in real time, our belief is then you can act on it. And we're hoping to generate a lot of interest for those things on that side of the house.
Yeah, wonderful. Sounds like, there's been a lot going on there. Is there anything else you want to add about things you've been up to?
Yeah. On that ESG side of the house, we're also working with farmers and farm groups. And so along those lines, our technologies being utilized for crops and examining the crops and detecting various things in the crops, increasing crop yields, reducing the need for pesticides, etc., finding bugs very early. So there's a whole exciting side of the house where we're working on food and food products, and we think they're going to be able to use it to really change the way large farming and agriculture happens here in the US. So we're excited about that side. And again, on ESG, we've got a couple of really, really interesting methane detection projects ongoing. Most people aren't aware, but, an awful lot of methane, is released into the atmosphere in the US. It's a very, it's a dangerous gas, and there isn't, in certain cases, there aren't the right kind of sensors or the right kind of equipment to spread that information. Right now, literally, airplanes are used and fly these things generally to detect it, etc. But that's a very, very broad and primitive mechanism for it. So we're working with some groups who really want to change that, and we think we'll be able to, have a big environmental impact there.
Wonderful, Gary. It sounds like you guys are just going full steam ahead there. And thank you for taking the time to come on and share your insights in some of these updates. And real curious about when we can learn more. But for now, if anyone has any questions about anything we've covered so far, please don't be afraid to ask. But Gary, closing words?
Yes, the exciting thing from our side, and markets right now are difficult. There's all sorts of exciting things happening out there, and a lot of us don't necessarily know how they're going to go or how they're going to react. But from our point of view, we're just literally putting one foot in front of the other. We know we've got technology that's going to change the world, and I can say that without a doubt now that the IGAN 2.0 is finished, and I'm excited about that. And everybody, it takes time to do these things, but if you do something good and you do the right thing, the rewards will come.
Very well said, Gary. Well, again, thank you for your time. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And please stay tuned for more. And Gary, have a wonderful day.
Take care. Bye-bye.